what's cooler about that, you're going to be reconnected with the universe that we reside in, because most of us are cut off from the spiritual aspect of who we are.
He's a born entertainer, crowd pleaser. And what he's developed here is a non-intense process. I have the concentration span of a gnat, literally. I sit in rooms, and if you will lose, I get bored so easy, you will lose me within a second if you don't interest me. Skip captivates you to the point where he does it so calmly and so brilliantly. He has a way about it. Every element about it is fun. It's broken up so brilliantly. It's driven brilliantly. It's choreographed brilliantly. Every element of it is fantastic. But let me tell you something, I'm an actor, and I know none of this is staged. He goes with the audience, he goes with his team, he goes with the crew that he's coaching, he fills them and he works, and this is the brilliance of somebody that can hold a room. Talent's one thing, but to keep a room interested in you for that amount of hours in one day is a gift in itself. You can't acquire it. And that's what the man has. It captivates you and keeps you with it. Keeps you with it. But it's just an amazing experience. So you have to be here to believe it and understand it.
So here we are in Asia with my new family. So all I'm asking is Asia. How you feeling?
This lets you know about how much you don't know about your health and your vitality. And what's the point of making all that money if you're only going to die due to lack of action and lack of the right education? This man has deconstructed what I spent a good $150,000 in cash to learn, and what I learned was unfortunately incredibly incorrect. It made me look a little better, but inside all messed up. I tell you something from the heart. This man is the answer to you being here longer with your children and being vital and doing things with your business where your business becomes your passion and you live a life that's extraordinary.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect when I came in, but I thought I'd just trust the process, trust Skip, and it's been fantastic. I've been reminded about some of the health things I know but I'm not necessarily doing, and also had a fantastic education and really had clarity. There's a lot of confusion about what's right for you, what isn't right for you, but really clarity from being here with Skip. This is kind of a combination of a number of factors. So it's got yoga, it's got meditation, it's got education, sort of group exercises, you're really connecting with other people. That's why I think this is different. Yeah, it was well worth the investment to come on this with Skip. If you want to take your health seriously, and at the end of the day, health is the most important thing. What's good of wealth if you don't have health?
Hi, I'm John Caleb, and people call me here, even media calls me the Philippines #1 success coach. And I've been trying to attract somebody who can actually professionally guide me. And so, as I say, seek and you shall find, and when you ask, it is given. And I think that is wisdom that has to be spread throughout the world. Skip taught us emotional control, and I have taught thousands of people in my wealth seminars. But I've also gone to so many workshops around the world with the best gurus. Of all the workshops that I've attended, this one really, really rocks. And this one really shot me through the heart to make important changes. And this is a must for everybody who wants to live a better quality of life. I think it's not just the length of life that you want to extend here. More importantly, what I got is how you're going to improve the quality of your life. So even if you're at age already, every moment you can enjoy it because you have so much energy, you have so much passion, and you have so much happiness and fulfillment in you, and you can give more to people. And it's going to take you to the next level, not just in your life, but also in your business. Skip, I think you have a unique message because as a success guru, I've met so many success gurus in the world, but you have a niche, becoming forever young, and I think that's a large part of what's lacking in the teachings of success is that part. You are that instrument of the divine to take it to the world, and this is going to be valuable because what will you do with money if you lose your health? So, but nobody really awakens people in the best way possible that you do because you have technologies, you have steps, you have activities, and you have that gift to make complicated things into simple to understand things, which are very very easy to apply. And I really hoping that you will touch not only the Philippines but the whole world with your message.
So we are ready to go. Skip is ready. He is here. So what I want you guys to do is, because for some people it is halfway through the day, so you might be feeling a little bit stiff, you might be feeling a little bit lethargic. So what I want everyone to do is, I'm going to ask you all to stand up, because at a live event we like to everyone to stand up and we like to jump around. So if I can invite everyone to stand up and take your arms right up in the air, and then push your fingers high, go to one side, go to one side. And when you do it, have a massive smile. Can you do a massive smile from cheek to cheek? Then go to the other side, go to the other side, and then touch your toes. Can you touch your toes? Then what I want you guys to do is rub your hands together, create some heat, because what you're about to go through is gonna get you hot. So what I want you to do, if you can start clapping your hands. I can see everyone's clapping. Get a little bit faster. Start jumping on the spot. Get that going. And then we welcome Skip Archimedes. Here we are. Yes, sir.
Wow. Right. I'm still so in awe of this whole lockdown phase. It's crazy, but it's good to be able to meet all of you online today. So first of all, can we all please give Sam and Bernard a massive round of applause for inviting you all here today. Give these guys a big round of applause, and I have the pleasure of knowing and working with these guys and really helping them to take areas of their life up to the next levels, because I want you guys to understand some simple things. First of all, do you all believe that you are the creators of your life? Yes or no? Type that in the chat. Let me know. Now, I'm going to be asking you many, many questions throughout this presentation, because I want to make sure that you're here, you're present, you're active. Because every single one of you, yeah, of course, yes, 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 yes. Now, let me ask you a few simple questions. Do you want to have more energy? Yes or no? Type that in the chat. Because I can tell you now, you got to have more energy pulsing through every single cell in your body. This physical thing that you live in, guys, it's the miracle. I know the press around the world labeled me the miracle man. I spend the rest of my life trying to remind everybody they're all the miracle man or miracle woman, because that's the truth. Think about this from just a common sense point of view. Think about how unbelievable your eyes are. Your eyes are making millions of distinctions every single second. Think about some of the amazing things you've seen with your eyes, whether it be out in nature, whether it be another person, whether for some of you it might be some food. Oh my God, look at this food I get to eat. Whatever it might be, what amazing things have your eyes seen? Because the reason why I'm going to ask all this, because I want you to start to create a life of abundance, and it starts with you. You've got to be able to feel abundant within yourself. Think about some of the amazing things that you've heard in life, whether it be something out in nature, whether it be a piece of music, whether it be something that somebody might whisper in your ear or a child might say, something unbelievable. And you got to experience that, because without us realizing that gratitude has such a high frequency to it, then guess what could happen? You could end up being, and this happens with some of my very rich clients, where they're not grateful for the simple things in life, and they've missed out on what life has to offer. They're always like looking for, oh, the latest car, oh, is that last season's piece of clothing, and all this. And there's nothing wrong with arriving where you want to arrive in life in style, but we've got to stay grounded and be connected to the truth. So please do type in the chat immediately, what are some things in your life that you can be grateful for? And what I suggest you do is just type. Try not to think about it too much. Just allow that, because then what happens is, because this whole event that we're doing today and on Thursday is about supercharging your wealth. Now, as Sam said, just simply being alive, awesome. You know, being grateful that every day that you wake up and you're above ground, that's a pretty good day. If you suddenly was below ground, you wouldn't be having the experiences that you now get to have. VK says being healthy. Galaxy? You've got something called Galaxy here. Says sunshine. Now, someone's Lalilia says, my kids. Sam saying to be fit and healthy. Sonia saying uncountable. So there's so many. Now, Azar says, yes, more energy. Now, all of these areas of life, having a smile on my face, simple things, guys. If we don't get the foundation locked in, what happens is we can just set our sights on the big things. And one of my clients, a guy who's worth about 100 million, the reason why I'm starting this right now, and Sam actually had the pleasure of meeting him on one of my retreats in Spain, a guy called Greg Secker. He's probably one of the world's top financial traders, teaches people to do the same. Now, he was lost. Now, this guy had the money. £8 million house. He's worth about 100 million. Fleet of cars outside his house. He's got his own helicopter. Everywhere he goes is first class. Now, how come he could come and spend a few days with me, and yet he finds this thing within himself, and then all of a sudden he feels rich again? Because when he came in, he may have the money in the bank and all the material things, but within himself, he wasn't rich. What we want is to be able to strip everything away and you feel rich within yourself. You start honoring this thing that you live in. Now, I want to ask you guys a quick question before we even get into this. Do you believe that we are human beings who every now and again we might get to have a spiritual experience, or do you believe that we're spiritual beings who are now having a human experience? Type that in the chat. Let me know. Now, the reason why I'm going to keep asking you to type in the chat, because most people's attention span is not very good. They focus on one thing for a little bit, and then something else gets their attention, and then, the latter, the second. Now, we're both spirit and human. I understand that, Barry, but then you didn't understand the question. I said, I'll ask the question again, because the reason why I want you guys to listen and then to be able to type into the chat the answers is because if you want to learn how to supercharge your wealth, you've got to be able to learn how to be present. And you've heard the saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. When you can understand how to give yourself the gift of being present, then you're going to win. Because you're going to be in the moment. If you're not present, I can tell you what can happen, guys. And all of you are here to be able to build up your Enagic business, to be able to make sure that you can go out there and get more leads. You can go out there and get more leaders working for you. This is not just about selling water machines. What this is about doing, it's creating a community so that you start to, below you start to build a community of leaders. When you start to become a leader yourself, now, if you're not present, here's what's going to happen. An opportunity is going to come up and it's going to pass you by and you didn't even know it was there. We don't want that happening. When you are present in the moment, you're not just going to see opportunities, you're going to create opportunities. You're going to be able to create something from nothing. You're going to be able to come up with an idea where you can add more value. But let me ask you this question, my friends. Who does the value start with? Where does it start? Come on, guys, just type it in. Yeah, Barry says me. Adam says me. Perfect. Yeah, Sam says me. 100%. Galaxy says me. Visha says me. Myself. 100%. So this is why I honor every single one of you for showing up here, because this is now about you. This is making sure that you're listening, you're present, your attention isn't going to be diverted anywhere else. Because if that is, here's what you're doing. You're training yourself to not be present in the moment. You're training yourself to try and multitask. Remember, where focus goes, energy flows. James mentioned this at the beginning. Now, we want the focus going into you becoming more, you seeing more opportunities. Now, for us to be able to do that, we have to understand the truth. Now, if we don't understand the truth, what's going to happen? Life is going to come and beat us up, because what we do is we start creating these illusions. We start seeing things that aren't even there. You've got this in your brain. We call it the reticular activating system, the RAS, this part of the brain. What happens is, in fact, let me show you how this works, guys. Look around your room. Do it right now. Look around your room and look for everything, because most people are focused on what's wrong in life. Most people are focused on the problem. I want to show you how you can focus on the solution. So look around your room, see everything that's blue. Look around the room, look around the room, look around your room, see everything that's blue, everything that's blue. Blue, 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 blue. Right, now close your eyes. Now tell me, close your eyes, everyone, close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Now tell me everything you see that was the color brown. What happened? Now look around the room now. Now look around the room and look for everything brown. Look for everything brown, 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 brown. Now close your eyes and remember everything that's brown. Because you was focused on it, it made an imprint in you, and you can then reflect it back to life. Now let me ask you this question. For some of you that are out there, because I know some of you that, especially if you're with Sam and Bernard, you're going to be overachievers. You're going to be people that want to go out there and take action, want to go out there and make stuff happen. Some of you may have created some of these illusions. What do I mean? The first direction that I just gave you was, I said, please go and look for everything that is what color? What color, guys? What did I ask you the first time? Blue. What color? Blue. Now, some of you, did some of you go for turquoise and thought, oh, I'll add that into the mix? Or when we were doing brown, just to make yourself feel like you're an overachiever, did you kind of sort of like see a beige and thought, oh, that'll count as brown, just because you need to achieve something? So you're creating illusions on stuff that isn't even there. Now, let me show you exactly what I mean. Let me just go to a share screen now and pull this up. Share screen. Let me play this. Okay, good. Okay, great. Oh, awesome. As well, here's what we're going to do as well. At the end, because this is all about coaching, I want to gift this coaching program away. Now, if you go on our website, you can see that you can buy this for $5,000 US, and it's this 50 E-Class to World Class coaching sessions. It's all of what I help all of my top clients to get results with. And when I say top clients, I'm talking CEOs, the bosses of big organizations, movie stars, singers, top sports personalities. I get the fortune of really coaching people who are at their top level, top of their game. Now, when I go and do a coaching session with them, I go and grab the golden nugget. And what I then go and do is I put it in a little video that's 7 to 15 minutes long. Now, then, in fact, let me just see, would anybody even be interested in receiving this for free at the end? Just type it in the chat. If you think that having 50 world-class coaching sessions for myself would benefit you, just type it in the chat. Let me know if you would be interested in receiving that. Okay, cool. So, and as James said, if you guys want to come and join me, you can even start tomorrow morning. This is 7:30 UK time, because I want to be able to gift you guys as much value as I can. What we are doing today is really for the mind. Now, I want to be able to give you guys a gift of the body. Now, this is completely free to you guys. If you just go to Skip Archimedes Live, you can like that page. I go live at 7:30 in the weekdays and 8 a.m. at the weekend. You can come and join me for free to give your body the gift of energy, flexibility, balance, all of these things that we need. And if we affect the body in that way, guess what? Will that have an effect on our minds? Yes or no? 100%. 100%. Because you're a body, you're a mind, and you are a spirit. Now, here's what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning how to boost your energy, how to boost your health and immunity, how to increase your finances, how to override all stresses, how to manifest what you truly want, how to be unshakable. At the end of today, there is going to be a powerful process to instantly lower your stress, to feel balanced, and to feel more of your true power. Because I'm going to be going for it today. And it could be a lot for you to take. And at the end, we're going to balance things back out so there's not overwhelmment within the mind. We've got to make sure that we stay balanced. That is key thing. So we want to know, what challenges are you guys faced with? Please type this in the chat. Have you got no motivation because there's too much stress? Are you feeling aches, pains, and fears? Are you worried about money? Have you got too much stress that's overwhelming? Type it in the chat. Are you just feeling stuck at this moment in life? Is your body out of shape? Are you getting annoyed with other people? Please type in the chat. Let me know, what challenges are you faced with at the moment? And as a result of that, do you fall into bad habits? Because what we want to make sure we do is that we create the habits that are going to serve you and your loved ones, so that you can start to do the right thing without even thinking about it. Now, one thing that I truly believe is that we need more leaders in the world to stand in the truth. And as I said, I've worked with some great people like Sir Richard Branson, Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. I've worked with many people and ran events in many different countries. And if you look at the top right picture, that was a picture where they was presenting me with an award that they gave to Nelson Mandela, Hillary Clinton, Steve Jobs, like many, many great leaders from around the world. They came and presented me with that literally in the middle of the event. I had no clue what was going on. And I said to them, I said, but I've really only just started my journey as a speaker. Now, because of the work that they knew that I'd gotten with people that they knew, they literally just thought it was a miracle that I'd been able to do this work with these people. All I'm here to do, guys, is I'm just here to facilitate you finding this greatness within you, so that you can literally start to supercharge your own wealth. Now, right, so on that screen, can everybody see a white triangle on that screen, just very quickly? Right, guys, there's your first illusion. There's no white triangle on the screen. Here's the first illusion, that your mind just created something that isn't even there. Now, because straight away the mind goes, oh yeah, there's a white triangle there. You know, all of you sticking up your thumbs. Of course I see the white triangle there, Skip. I'm not blind. You know, it's right there in front of me on the screen. No, it's not. Now, this is what I want you guys to understand. We call it the Knizia triangle. Now, if you saw a white triangle, and while you're looking at it, you're still seeing the white triangle. But now try not to see the white triangle, to just see the objects that I put on that screen. I literally just put 6 objects on that screen. But because of the shape that they're in, because of the way that they're formed, all of a sudden, because you're used to seeing a white triangle, or you're used to seeing the shape of a triangle, and there's almost the shape of a triangle on the screen, your mind goes and creates it. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is, where else in your life is your mind creating something that isn't even there? Are you creating illusions when it comes to money? Are you creating illusions when it comes to relationships? Are you creating illusions when it comes to your own mind and body? Think about the illusions that you have created in life that weren't even there, where you might have gone and blamed somebody for something, and all of a sudden later on, you find out they didn't even do that thing. They didn't even say that thing. But yet in your mind, you believed it was true. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is, I've gone through some experiences where I have completely fallen in love with humanity. Even though humanity is getting out of control, what I've learned is, when we connect to the truth, then we find our freedom. When we connect to the truth, we have that abundance of energy breathing through us. When we have that abundance of energy breathing through us, can that positively affect our mind? Yes or no? 100%. And we want to make sure that your mind is focused on what it is that you want to achieve. So now with this, what you're seeing on the screen now, please type in the chat, which way is she spinning? Type it in the chat. Which way is she spinning? Type it in the chat. Which way is she spinning? Some of you saying she's spinning right. Let me just pull up the chat. Some saying left to right, some saying clockwise, some saying anti-clockwise, some saying to the right, some saying to the left. Now, isn't that interesting? Clockwise, anti-clockwise. So guys, look at the screen. What you're seeing, we're all seeing the same thing. But yet some of you are seeing the lady spinning anti-clockwise and some of you are seeing the lady spin clockwise. How is that possible when we're looking at the same thing, but we're all seeing something completely different? Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because when you see a challenge in your business, because what supercharging your wealth is all about is overriding the problems, seeing the bigger picture and focusing on what your next step is to create this bigger picture in your reality. Now, is it possible that when we change the way we look at things, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change? Is that possible, yes or no? So keep looking at the screen now and see if you can make a change direction. Because if you can make a change direction, then what you can do is you can start to change the way things mean. I.e., when a challenge comes into your business, when someone lets you down, where people don't come up, when you haven't got enough energy to go and make that next call, to set up that next meeting, to do the next demo, to go and train somebody in your team, whatever level you're at. If you don't pin a meaning on that immediately, then I can tell you what's going to happen, my friends. The old programming will play out. Now, if you learn to override the programming, that's your first step in supercharging your wealth. But the challenge is the programming is so deep. The programming is so deep that what happens with who we are starts to get less and less and less and less. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't want to be pessimistic. Now, let me ask you a question, guys. Hands up, and you can do this by hands up, or you can do it by hands up on your computer. Hands up if you think that we can learn from our younger generation, yes or no? Yeah, 100%. Now, this is what I want you guys to understand. I want to understand this. Now, hands up if you were once 4 years old. Now, I'm asking you a dumb question, but the reason I'm asking you a dumb question is because to get you in the moment, I'm getting the body involved. I'm asking the body to move because most of you are used to looking at a screen and getting number and number and number and number. When you see children looking at a screen, at a certain age, they're still moving around. They're still quite active. They're doing stuff. Now, let me ask you this question. Do children, let's take children between 4 and 8 years old. Do children have a lot more energy at that age than most adults? Yes or no? By a show of hands. 100%. Do children learn faster than most adults? Yes or no? Right, so hands up. Would your life benefit if you had more energy? Yes or no? Great. Would your life benefit if you could learn faster? Yes or no? Absolutely. Would your life benefit if you had, if within this child, do children speak the truth more than most adults? Yes or no? Would your life benefit if you was able to have this truth breathing through you at a high level? Without a doubt. Guys, we just have to look how crazy life has gotten at the moment, and we can't even be in the truth. Like, or if you're watching mainstream media, you're not watching the truth. You're watching something that is there to create headlines. We want to make sure we understand the truth. And in this truth, I can tell you now, you will find your freedom. Because let me answer this question. Do children have a lot more freedom than most adults by a show of hands? Yes or no? Right. Do children create more than most adults by a show of hands? Yes or no? Now, what's interesting is some of you started doing this. On the first questions, you did this because I'm looking at you guys right now. Some of you did this. When I asked the first question, yes, hands went up. By the time I got to the second question, the energy that was in your body was obviously like hard, draining, because when I asked you the last question, some of you did this. Yeah. The energetic level, guys, is so subtle, but let me explain this to you. It's that subtlety that is screwing your life up. Because when I say screwing your life up, I mean that your life, if you are not fired up with energy, if you are not focused where you can focus that energy on anything you want in life by your choice, the old programming is going to play out. So here's what I invite you to do. I invite you to really play full out today. Really, really be focused. If I ask you something, bam, get your hands up and be the first one. Because if I ask kids a question, if I'm touring around and I'm doing normal events, but then I also get asked to go and speak at schools. Could be anywhere. I remember one of the last ones when I was in Nepal, and they invited me to speak to younger kids, and then all the way up to their college kids, and it was unbelievable. I did pretty much the same presentation for kids, and these little kids, bam, they were answering before all the others. They were in the moment, and as we got into the teenagers, you could see that life was starting to be drained out of them. Now, how was life starting to be drained out of them? Because they're starting to live up here in their minds. So if you're up for playing full out today, stick your hands up and say, aye, aye. Now, did you even do that? Some of you did. I think most of you did. Now, if you did, give yourselves a little round of applause. Because I've got to get you doing these silly things so that we can start to get out of the mind and we can start to get back into the body and we can start to allow our spirit to breathe through us. Now, I don't want to be like, start getting on weird and woo-wooey. Now, that thing that we spoke about in children, where children have more energy, children learn faster, children have more creativeness, children speak more of the truth, children are just alive and happier with a lot more joy. Now, all of those elements that I just mentioned, listen up, guys. Who taught the kids that stuff? No one. No one. All of that is inbuilt in our programming. But what's happened is the way that life has been set up through the education system, where, guys, just shut the doors, mate. Just close them. So when we understand the truth, guys, that is where we can start to get supercharged. So I've got to have you, because this isn't about dumping more stuff in your mind. If I go and dump more stuff in your mind, guess what? You're going to fall in the trap like most people out there now. And what they're doing is they're now drowning in information. What we got to do is we got to step up and start to live with wisdom. People are drowning in this information, but they're starving of wisdom. If you want to start to live with more wisdom, say, Skip, I want more wisdom. Put it in the chat. Let me know. Because without you guys being hungry for it, guess what? Life can't feed you. You are given free will. You are given an unbelievable experience called the gift of life. But if we become the victim and we start to make decisions from being a victim, guess what our experience is going to be like? One of a victim. If we want to have the experience of being a victor, then we need to start literally doing one simple thing. We've got to shift our identity. This is key, my friend. Your identity is absolutely everything. Let me explain what I mean by this. Let's say that, okay, have any of you ever started something and at the beginning of it, you was really motivated and you might have said, I want to earn more money. I want to change my body. I want to be in love. I want to have better relationships. I want to go on more adventures, whatever it was. And you started this thing, but then you didn't finish it. You didn't complete it. If that's ever happened to you, please type it in the chat. Let me know, because this is where we're being honest and truthful. And by being in the truth, what we're going to do is all of those elements that we had when we were children. Remember what it is, guys. More energy, more happiness and joy, learning faster, creating more, speaking more of the truth. All of those things, you didn't get taught one of them. And in fact, guys, none of you even got taught to walk. But yet somehow you figured it out. No one gave you an instruction manual. No one said, oh, here's how you're going to do it, son. I'm going to show you a manual here and you're going to go step by step. No one did any of it and you figured it out. And in fact, I want to tell you now, one of my spiritual gurus had a kid, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably not going to be able to mention this person's name, but this person had a kid, and everyone was like, well, how are you going to, were you going to teach your kid stuff? Because I'm not going to teach my kid anything. And everyone started freaking out about this guy. And his kid now is so intelligent because there wasn't any limitations put on the kid with the academic system that's been created. Guys, let's work out the truth. What you learned at school Are you using it today? Because one of the most important things is that you have a body that's healthy. We've got to understand this to be the truth. If we're not focused on health as a foundation, it doesn't matter what you're trying to build in your empire. If you haven't got that health, I can tell you now, that stress that might come in, the wrong foods that might come in. Okay, you guys are drinking the best water on the planet, game on. But are you eating for emotional reasons or convenience, or are you actually eating for nutritional reasons? This is the reason why we created our Supercharged Superfood Company, because it's so important that you give your body substances, food that has the energy of the sun, the energy of the universe, the energy of the planet, and that food has weathered different seasons. This is the key thing, guys, because if you're not eating, and I had this yesterday with one of my clients, a guy called John Lee. He raised about 30 million last year, took his company public, did a coaching session with him yesterday, and this is unbelievable. I coach him every single week, but we had 3 weeks off just because the two of us were so busy. And I just said, look, John, I'm so sorry. I haven't got time. And the time I could do, I couldn't fit him in. And the time he could do, I couldn't fit him in. And I said, right, what's happened? What's going on? And he said, and by you guys should know, he's one of literally the top marketeers in the UK. And he says, well, I think I've been living in my 20%. A little bit more, because what I truly believe is that we should live by the 80-20 principle. Now, what does the 80-20 principle mean? It means that 80% of what you put in your body, be conscious of it, that you're really conscious, and that it is nourishing the body with all this goodness. If you do that 80% of the time, then 20% do what you want. But here's what will happen. As you do that 8% more and more, you won't want to do the 20% unless you're not in control of yourself. So I said, look, what have you done? And he goes, oh, I want to celebrate. And, we've had some really good wins in the business. And, I just went to the cinema. And he goes, I did my 20%. And I said, well, what did you have? And he goes, before I would have had a hot dog. I would have had popcorn, and I would have had big Coke and chocolate and all that stuff. He says, but now I'm plant-based. Now I'm not putting animal products in my body because I don't want to put all that acid in the body. I want to be in an alkaline environment. He said, I just went for some of the popcorn. But then I asked him the question, and he said, is that all right? And I said, well, why are you asking me if it's all right? Let's ask your body. I said, because that's the most important thing. I said, all I'm going to give you is, what I'm going to say. I said, but how did you feel after eating it? And he was like, oh my God, I just felt like a bunch of dog doo-doo. And I said, so you now get to choose. I said, because going backwards, we can connect the dots. I said, do you want to carry on making that 20% with that stuff? And he goes, so what do you have in your 20%? And I said, well, really, I said, my 20% when it comes to food, I said, I don't really zag anymore when it comes to food. I said, within my 20%, there might be like a real chocolate bar, not a confectionery chocolate bar, but a chocolate bar that has raw cacao in it, so that chocolate is actually healthy, and chocolate that doesn't have processed sugars in. It'll have a good sugar in it. It could be like a raw cane sugar that is natural. And I said, and that's really my 20%. I said, so it's not really junk. I said, because this is what you guys need to honor. Your body is the vehicle that you go through life in. Look at it as your spaceship. Now, this is what I'm going to want you guys to start to understand. We're talking about identity here. So then I said to him, I said, well, look. And he goes, but don't you ever want to crave that stuff? And I said, there were times when I did crave some of the junk stuff. And I said, and there were times when I'd go into a lower emotional state, and then, or I've been working hard all day, and then at the end of the day, and I'd work, and I just wanted something that was going to give me, that I thought that was going to give me some instant satisfaction. And then I go and eat it, and guess what happens? You don't feel good. Or if that sugar or stuff is, it takes you up quickly, so you get that sugar high, and all of a sudden, what's going to happen when all these sugars are now burnt up? Boom, you're going to come crashing down. Because what you're doing is you're teaching your body to use sugar for energy. It's the stupidest system on the planet. Why do you think there's a massive epidemic at the moment with diabetes? Huge. And all people have to learn how to do is balance out their blood sugar levels. This is how come people come and train with me. They can get rid of their diabetes in 2 weeks. And I know that sounds a lot for a lot of people to understand, but in my world, that's normal. This is why last week I literally got contacted by the government, and we had a lady who was on our last Breakthrough Mastery online course. She was a mayor, and she said, Skip, what I just learned in 3 days with you, I've literally learned more in those 3 days than I think I have on the entire 60 years I've been on this planet for. And she said, you know, I'm connected with the government, and, you know, because I'm mayor, I'm allowed to do things for a certain local authority that can really, really help. And what you've just shown us in these 3 days of Breakthrough Master Online was completely different than anything that we're getting at government level. Can I bring you into these meetings? Now, to begin with, I was very resistant because I understand what goes on at a government level. And she said, well, you're not going to have to do the battle. We've had a guy who's been battling for the last 2 years. I said, okay, let's set up the meeting. So we set the meetings up. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is it's around identity. Now, as I go through this story, tune into the identity that I had. And I want you to be able to tune into and understand the identity that other people had. And that one thing is going to win every single time. Because when we get down to the most fundamental essence of what all life is about, guys, it's about one word. Anyone guess what that word is? Type it in the chat. I've been talking about it all morning. Come on, what's that one word? Type it in, type it in, type it in. What's that chat? What's that word? Come on, type it in the chat. Energy. Energy. No, so Barry goes attitude. Palm says health. Aiden says health. Guys, it's energy. It's energy. But we can have a creative energy, or we can have a toxic energy, destructive energy. So we've got to make sure that the energy that we hold within ourselves is that energy of the truth. Because in that truth, guys, this is how you are going to break through barriers. Because in your business, are there going to be barriers that you've got to break through? 100%. Hands up if you know you've got to break through barriers in your business. 100%. Come on, guys, get your hands up. Yes, 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 yes. Awesome. So, because... yes, don't do it like that. Yeah, don't do it like an old person, guys. Like, oh yes, I know I've got to break through some barriers in my business. That's like, there's no energy going to get in your body. So come on, if you're up for playing full out, stick your hands up and say, aye. Come on, yes, good, beautiful, perfect. So now, guys, look at Sam and Bernard. Their arms are up before all of you, and there's a reason. They're leaders. Leaders do what other people don't do. Now notice they're present, they're alert, they're focused because they know the value of being present. Don't allow yourself to be distracted. So remember this, identity. Now, what is your identity? And we're going to go through this in a minute. We're going to get to something unbelievable in a minute around identity. And this is so powerful, guys, because it's because of the identity why some people start something and they don't finish it. Why some people might start something, the challenges come up and they go and give up. Whereas if you take on a certain identity, you're going to be unstoppable. And it's going to be an identity that you're going to choose. It's going to be an identity that winners have. It's an identity that champions have. I got so lucky that most of you know my story that, well, there are many stories. And this is why I do what I do, guys, because I've been challenged at super high levels. Just imagine this one thing around your identity. You've trained yourself as a gymnast. You've now got a great coach, and then you break your back and you get told you're never going to walk again. What type of identity do you think goes on in a mind where you've got these experts around you and they say you're never going to walk again? Identity of now being a cripple. Identity of now being someone who can't use the very things that life gave me. And I was stupid and I was beating myself up. The identity I took on was the victim at the highest level. It was the victim at the highest level where I couldn't even, guys, when I say victim at the highest level, I'm talking victim at the highest level in hardcore depression. There wasn't even a time where I was believing that getting out of that situation was even possible. And it took someone, and it took my mum who comes in and you know, says, look, I don't think it's game over. You know, I found someone, he broke his back, he came back fitter and stronger, and he went on to inspire millions of people. And that's when I was like, wow, who? And she goes, Bruce Lee. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, Mum, he's a movie star. So the identity that I pinned on him was, he's just a movie star. She said, no, this guy's got something else. He broke his back. He was told he'd never walk again. And then I literally started to fill myself up with what he did. And he did some three simple things that changed the whole course of my life. I understood three simple things, guys. This is how powerful this is. You're a body, you're a mind, and you're a spirit. The education system trains the mind. In some cases, it might train the body as well, because I bring it in sports now, but it doesn't train you spiritually. And that's the missing ingredient in our world. It's not being weird or woo-wooey. Just look at Bernard. Look at his backdrop. Look at that whole spiral of the universe. This energy, that spirit, when we have this energy, this spiritual energy breathing through us, guys, you can create a life of abundance. This is how you get to supercharge your wealth. This is how you get to live your dreams every single day. I'm not on about achieving something and every now and again you might feel good. No, you connect to this spiritual energy within you. You connect the mind, the body, and the spirit, and you learn to fuel each of these three things up. Then when that challenge comes in, guess what's going to break you through? The truth. And it's the truth that wants to serve, and it wants to create, and it wants to expand. There's two types of energy that we need to understand. There's a competitive energy. Guess what the education system does? It has you compete, because it has you do tests where it cuts you off from everybody else. It isolates you, and then you have to go and do a test. Where in life do you have to go and do a test where you are isolated from other people? It doesn't exist anywhere. So why the hell create that in a system? Because then what happens with a lot of people, if they aren't able to go and regurgitate the right thing in that test in that moment, and let's say they're stressed, let's say they're worried, let's say that leading up to it, they might have had some bad, stuff happen in their family, that all of a sudden they can't regurgitate what they put in there. And then you go and get a certain grade, and guess what people do? They hold on to that identity of, oh, I'm a failure. And then internally, they start to believe that they're a failure, and they carry that identity with them throughout other areas of their lives. We have to make sure that we take on an identity where you are going to win no matter what, where you are going to break through any challenge, because the identity that you hold within yourself is so strong. It's so powerful. It's so beautiful. It's so great. It's gracious. It's elegant. It's alive. It's all the beautiful things that you want to make sure that you bring with you on a daily basis. So let's understand that identity is everything. Now, when I was saying to John about, can I just have some popcorn, or could I have this? And he goes, well, what do you have to zag? And I said, well, I just don't really do it anymore now because I don't need to. Whereas, and the reason why I don't need to is because I realized that the foods that I was connected to, they were foods of convenience. They were foods that were junk foods. Now, guess what? If you put junk in your body, guys, type it in the chat. How are you going to feel? Come on, if you put junk in the body, how are you going to feel? Put it in the chat, put it in the chat. Put it in, come on. It's not a complicated question. Put it in the chat. If you put junk food in the body, how are you going to feel? Come on, type it in the chat. Yeah, junky. Absolutely. You're going to feel down. You're going to feel shitty, some people say. You're going to feel like, absolutely. You are going to feel lethargic. There you go. Garbage in, garbage out. Very well put. Like junk. Absolutely. Now, this is where we need to honor what we start to feed our body with. Now, we need to honor also what we feed our mind with. Please, guys, just stop watching the news. Seriously, you do not need to get your certainty out of life from watching the news. What you need to do is find the true leaders in life who live and breathe the stuff that you want to live and breathe. And always do what you can to get to spend as much time with them, because who you hang around, guys, is who you become. If you start hanging around other leaders where they've got this energy, they've got this health, they've been able to manifest abundance when it comes to what they create in life. Because remember, I said that there's two energies. There's the competitive energy. The competitive energy has you compete, makes you want to win over somebody else. If you go into the competitive energy, here's what you do. You cut off the creative energy. That's what you are. You are a creator. You are a creative god or goddess. You just haven't discovered it yet. And again, this is why I run my trainings, so that people can come and they can spend more time with us, so that they can discover these parts of themselves, and then they can start to play out life with an identity that's going to get them the results that they want in life. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is, if you're playing out an identity where you might be a victim, if you're playing out an identity where you might be a poor me, if you're playing out an identity where you believe, oh, I can't do this. Guys, all of these are programs that are running within you. If you want to rewrite your programs, put it in the chat. Say, Skip, I want to rewrite my programs. Because whichever way you look at it, you are a source of information. Your information is traveling from one cell to another cell. So where it literally in a year from now, most of the cells in your body are brand new cells. Guys, can you even comprehend how phenomenal that is? Did any of you just even clock what I just said? And type it in the chat, guys. Come on, if you want to rewrite your programs, there's only 3 people who want to rewrite their programs right now. Guys, if you're not hungry to rewrite your programs, okay, good. A few of you. Guys, you've got to be hungry. If you're not hungry for life, I can tell you now, life isn't going to feed you. Okay, beautiful. Now, look how long, and it might be the internet, it's possible, but look how long it took you guys to respond. And it's possible that it could be the internet. But here's what I invite you to do. Guys, be in the moment. Be focused, because without you having an identity which is present, which is in the moment, as I said at the beginning of this conversation, the next opportunity that could pass you by, it could go without you even seeing it. Imagine if Bernard wasn't present when he met Sam in that lift. Just imagine. Seriously, none of you guys would be here today. None of you. Now, because Bernard, now I want you guys to understand how the ripple effect works in life. If Bernard wasn't present and looking for key players, guys, he wasn't interested in selling Sam a machine. What Bernard was looking for was kick-ass leaders. Now type in the chat, did he find a kick-ass leader in Sam Sear? Yes or no? Come on, type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. Of course, yes. Yes, he found a kick-ass leader. Beautiful. Yes, indeed. Yes, of course he did. Now, do you guys, can you imagine what could happen to your Kangen business if you found a Sam Sear? Would that improve your business? Just type it in the chat. If you found a Sam Sear, no. So, oh, I love it. Sam saying, you lucky fella. Brilliant. I love it. Brilliant. So, but there was no luck involved. This is what I want. What does luck stand for? Does anyone know what the acronym of luck stands for? Labor under correct knowledge. That's what luck is. Labor under correct knowledge. So Bernard knew, right, lucky Sam, there you go. Brilliant. Multiple, because they have been a great team. They've served each other well. And they keep doing what they're doing because they want to serve. And guys, this is what it comes down to. If you want to be a great, in fact, let me just see, just type in the chat, who really does want to be a great leader? Because that's what this is all about. This is about you guys leading at a high level. If you want to be a great leader, okay, so Aldwin says, Barry, Connie, James, Bernard. See, and guys, it's all what you, because you never arrive and go, well, I am one. Well, you might have been one, but now what do you need to create so that you can keep being a great leader? By you being a great leader, this is how you give birth to an unbelievable team. Because I can tell you now, my friends, and please listen to this, there's no blaming your upline. There's no blaming anyone in your team. If you go into blame, guys, guess where you live? You start living below the line. Now, I want to show you this little slide. Let me just pull this up. Okay, let me just pull this up because I want to show you guys this slide, because this one slide just hits the nail on the head. Here we go. Okay, good. So please have a look at the screen right now, and let me just how do I get my cursor up? Okay, so now you can see that it says below the line. Now look what's below the line, guys. Now you'll see whatever word you're looking at, if you go above the line, you'll see in the same color box the opposite. So just type in the chat now, do you want to live below the line or do you want to live above the line? Type it in the chat, let me know. Beautiful, of course you want to live above the line. Guys, there's only one way that you can live above the line. Only one way. And the only way that you can live above the line is to get activated. That's it. Information, guys, is going to push you below the line. An activation is going to allow you to go above the line. That's how, when we get activated. Now, what do I mean by an activation? I mean that something comes in and it stimulates you, not like a caffeine, not something that's going to create an acid in the body. I'm talking about something that you do. Now, what are these things? First of all, I invited you guys to yoga. Yoga is a physical activation. It gets the body moving. It gets us breathing. And by the way, Bernard, I need to say this very quickly. We were on a call the other day with Richard Tan. And Richard is actually he's good friends with Sam Sear as well, because he mentioned both of you guys on this call. So Richard was doing a training for some of us on this call. And he pulled up a picture. First of all, he actually thanked Sam for introducing me to him. And he came on, he goes, look, guys, I've ran this company for over 20 years. And he said, I need to just say this straight off the bat. Skip is amazing. He said, what this guy does, he said, I've just witnessed my wife, and this is Veronica Chu, who went through Breakthrough Mastery online. It's a 3-day event that we run online. And he says, guys, she doesn't do events. And he says, and when she does do them, she'll start it, but then she'll just leave it. He said, I've never seen her glued to a computer screen for the entire 3 days. Now, guys, this is not like a Zoom call. This is you getting activated. This is you going through certain processes. And then what he did, and he said, look, Skip coaches super high level people. He goes, I'm amazed at the high level of people that this guy coaches and gets extraordinary results with. And he said, and he did that with one of my good friends who I train with, Bernard. And then he pulled up a picture of Bernard, and it was Bernard. Have you got that picture, Bernard, of you touching your toes? Can you put it up against the screen? Because Bernard has been doing the yoga every single morning. Now, he doesn't do it live, but you've been doing it on a video that I sent you, I think. Or have you been doing it with one on Facebook?
I've been doing only with your video, the morning yoga and the de-stress and energize.
Okay, got it. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah. So you want me to share it? I think you have to unshare your screen.
Right, guys, have a look at this. Now, this is what leaders do. So,
hang on,
the whole thing of getting old has nothing to do with your age, by the way, guys. What I want to say, when you supercharge your wealth, you're going to supercharge your body, you're going to supercharge your mind, you're going to supercharge your finances, you're going to supercharge your relationships. There it is. Now, look at that. Now, how old are you, Bernard?
54.
54 years old. Guys, he will be doing this when he's 104. I kid you not. Because I've trained Bernard, I know the discipline that he has. And one of the beautiful things about you learning how to supercharge your wealth is about discipline. It's what do you do consistently? Because now, again, this comes back to our identity. Now, I want to go back to that slide in a minute, because we all dip below the line. But this is what I want to show you guys.
Can I mention something, Skip?
Yes, please.
Guys, I engaged Skip as a one-on-one coaching in mid-February, and after 1 week of not listening to him, I didn't partake of the yoga. I started 1 week later, so I think it was the 3rd week of February, and I have not, I'm proud to say this, I have not missed a single day since the 3rd week of February till today. And you guys saw the result, you know, and it's not the ability to touch my head with my knee and all that, but it's just feeling free, feeling energized. Yeah. So over to you, Skip. Thank you, Skip.
Yeah, and thank you for that sharing, because it's so key, guys. This is what you've got to understand, that picture of Bernard doing that, what it shows is that he's hungry to grow. What it shows is that he's hungry for more. He's not going to settle, because, guys, if you settle, what you do is you cut off the ability of being able to supercharge your wealth. By not settling, what you do is you allow this abundance of energy to come in. Now, when you allow that abundance of energy to come in, when you learn how to use it for your own body, for your own mind, because otherwise what's going to happen is if you don't use it for your mind, all this stuff that the world has put in your mind, that's what's going to come out. So you've been programmed, whether you're conscious of it or not, you've been programmed. Now, what's happening for most of you when you go and respond to life, guys, it isn't you responding. It is, remember those childlike essences we had at the start where I said, right, what do children have? More energy, more focus, more creativity, more love, more happiness, more truth. All of these qualities, not one of those qualities got taught. They owned them. They were them. It was their identity. More freedom. They're expressive in the ways. If they're hurt, guess what? They go and tell mummy and daddy they're hurt. But what do? Now we get hurt and oh no, I can't be weak. Oh no, I'll keep this to myself. And you're not even expressing yourself authentically anymore. And it's that authenticity that is missing from our world. Because what's happened is now the whole craziness of COVID-19, guys, you know what it is. It's a fear epidemic. This has got nothing to do with the virus. Nothing to do with the virus. Guys, you guys got to wake up and you got to start understanding the truth. The press is motivated for one thing, guys, ratings. They have a CEO. It doesn't matter what news channel it is, whether it's a newspaper, a magazine, a news television show, a radio show. All of those shows, guys, they go for one thing, ratings. Now, when COVID happened, what do you think happened to their business? Boom! It went through the roof because everybody was going to these news channels for certainty. Oh, what's happening? Guys, when you understand that you've got to get 3 engines fueled up, for you to learn how to supercharge your wealth, we've got to get your mind engine fueled up in the right way. And it can't come from external information in here, because 90% of what you're now absorbing in the modern world, guys, it's toxic. It's draining life away from people. It's not giving people the truth. It's bringing up fear. If you go into fear, where do you think you go, guys? Do you think you go above the line or below the line? Come on, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Or give me a thumbs up. Are we going above the line or are we going below the line when we go in fear? Give me a body. Of course, below the line. 100% below the line. Now that fear, what is that fear going to do? Is it going to boost up your immunity or is it going to lower your immunity? Come on, give me a thumbs up or down. Thumbs up or down. Absolutely down. 100% down. Now, guys, you got to understand this truth. I'm not going to go around on COVID-19, but it all comes down to identity. If you understand that if you let information come in and it puts you into fear and that fear lowers your immunity, then guess what? You could be susceptible to getting not just a virus or an illness, but it could be any type of ailment. Because the only thing that you have within yourself to protect you against this virus, any future virus may come out, guys, it's not the vaccine. The answers are not in the vaccine. I'll tell you where the answers are. They're inside the intelligence of you. Whether you know it or not, whether you understand it or not, you are potentially a walking god or goddess. You've just got to be able to discover your own abilities. You've got to be able to discover your own talents. And this is what I really want to help you with. So for that, we have to understand that you've got a body. So we need to fuel this body up with the right stuff. That's why I suggest, guys, get on as many live foods as you can. Now, even in that process, we now know that in the modern world, all the food that we eat only contains 5 to 20% of the nutritional value compared to 100 years ago. So what do? You've got to supplement. That's why we created our supercharged superfoods. When you supplement, please make sure that you read the labels. Please make sure that you check what's in it, because unfortunately, the supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry and it's not even regulated. This is insane that it's not even regulated. So, third thing, you've got to make sure that you start to fuel up your mind with the right stuff. This is why, at the end of today's session, I want to gift somebody the 50 E-Class to World Class coaching sessions. Now, if you do want those 50 E-Class to World Class coaching sessions, type, I want the E-Class skip. So let me see who wants it. So yeah, as Edwin said, yeah, not just against the virus, but the virus of the thoughts as well. Guys, your thoughts are going to determine how good you feel or not. Now, do you want your thoughts to come based on your programming, or do you want to learn how to focus your mind so you get to choose your thoughts wisely? Because if you don't choose your thoughts and you master your mind, guess what? Whatever comes up, you're going to believe that to be real. And guys, we know how many illusions you're seeing. Come on, you all saw that white triangle. It wasn't even there. And then some of you saw that lady spinning one way and then spinning another way. How is that possible? There are so many illusions out there. And it's the illusions that will stop you from supercharging your wealth. When we connect to the truth and you have this truth breathing through you, let me ask you this question. Have you ever stood in front of somebody, whether it be online or offline, and all of a sudden they're trying to sell you something, but there's something within you that thinks, I don't think I trust this person. Hands up if that's ever happened to you. It's happened to all of us. Now, you know, Sonia's putting both hands up all the time. Now, on the opposite side, have you ever had somebody in front of you that just wants to serve you? They just want to over-deliver. And you know if you go and buy their product or service, that they're not going to let you down. They're going to make sure that what they do is going to serve you at the highest level. Hands up if you ever had that one happen before. Absolutely. That's the leader that I want you to turn into. That's the identity, so that because if you don't take on this identity to serve yourself at the highest levels, guys, it's impossible to go and serve anybody else at the highest levels, because you're not going to have that truth breathing through you. So let's understand a situation here. Let's say that you want an identity of being someone who's athletic, somebody who is strong, somebody who creates a strong body. Yeah, just like Bernard. He's laughing and joking with it, but he has this discipline. You know, he runs, he cycles, he swims. He pushes himself. Now, along that journey, are there times, Bernard, where suddenly your mind thinks, oh my God, I can't do it. And you have these thoughts come up, but then you push them out the mind because you know they're just stupid thoughts. Look at him just shaking his head. Guys, you've got to learn how to push those types of thoughts away, because otherwise you'll stop. Otherwise you'll give up. Otherwise you won't make the next call. Otherwise you won't go and serve yourself or others at the highest level. So this has to be an identity around the truth. Now, let's say that you've got an identity where you say, oh, I want to lose weight and I'm going to lose weight and I'm sick of being overweight and I'm sick of not having energy and I've been shoving this stuff in my face for far too long now. I've had enough. And because people will take action out of one or two things: inspiration or desperation. Unfortunately, a lot of people wait until they're desperate, and they wait till they've been literally knocked down and they can't go any further down, but they can still look up so they can still get up. And they wait for that point where, oh my God, literally life is now beating me up. I've got to get up now. I've got to go and do something. Now, let's say that they make this decision that they're going to lose weight, but the subconscious programming is an identity that isn't serving them at the highest level, because their identity is, oh, well, I'm still a fat kid. I was always the fat kid. Oh, I'm the overweight one. Oh, I'm the stupid one. Oh, I'm the one that whatever. They run a story in their mind, and guess what, guys? All you've got used to doing is running that program, running that story. I want to show you this slide very quickly. I think I've got it. Let me have a quick look to see if I have got it. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I have. Great. So on this slide here, have a look here. That when you've got your conscious mind, which is like the iceberg above the water. We're conscious now. We're awake. The subconscious part of your mind, I think I'm going to start to call it the superconscious part of the mind, because that really is the powerful part of what you are. That's the iceberg under the water. Now, where is most of the ice? Is it above the water or is it below the water? Type it in the chat. Yeah, below. Type it in the chat. It's below the water. Now, what that means is that most of it is there, but you can't see it. Now, when we get ourselves into a state where we might say we want something, if the subconscious programming is so big, guess what's going to win? The subconscious programming, where you can now set your sight on something and say, right, I want this in life, but the subconscious program goes, nah, you're not going to have that. You don't believe that. Rubbish. You want to lose weight? Nah, you're fat. You want to get rich? Nah, you're poor. You don't know how to get rich. And besides, you know, you might have programming it. Oh, rich people are evil. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. I mean, what are all the... In fact, just type in the chat now. What are some of the myths? What are some of the illusions that you may have been programmed with when it comes to creating wealth? Because when I say supercharge your wealth, I'm talking money. I'm talking freedom. I'm talking health. I'm talking energy. I'm talking adventures. I'm talking the whole shebang of life, everything. Because guys, if we miss out one ingredient, bam, that's going to trip you up. That's going to stop you getting the result that you want. Barry says, so let's have a look what we've got here. Worthiness. Yeah, not feeling worthy enough. I cannot really do it in a big way. Gaining wealth is tough. All of these things that programs, that when these programs come in, you should be lucky was the myth, but I created luck now. That was in the past, by the way. Yeah, of course, we're talking about what we grew up with. Now, some of that programming can go in real deep, real deep. Now, let's say that you have... let's say that you set your sights when it comes to creating wealth. Let's do it around money here. So creating money is just an energy. Money is just an exchange. Money has no personality. Money doesn't care where it goes. It will go where the opportunities are. So what we need to do is, just like a stream will have flowing water down it, which is natural, when it comes to creating money, what we've got to do is be like what Bruce Lee taught me, be like water. And what does that mean? We can be fluid. We can freeze water and it becomes ice. Now, what do? We can freeze assets. Now, when it comes to loans, when we might want to get loans, guess what? We can float a loan. We used to, when money was first created, and usually it was gold, that became the first thing that had a big exchange. Then we would put the money in the banks of the river. Now, what else can we do with money? Yeah, there's a currency. There's a current to it. Now, you can do so much with money in the same way that life does it with water. And you've got to learn how to weather the different seasons. If you don't learn how to weather the seasons with the right identity, and that can take time, guys, because a lot of you have had a lifetime of programming, and that programming, you may have, your conscious mind go, oh, I want to be rich. I want to have this. I want to do this. You've got to do the daily things. You've got to do the things that are not sexy. You've got to do the things that take discipline. You've got to do the things that most people will give up on. That's how you become the champion of your life. And I had I was lucky that when I broke my back and I came back and I went back to the sport, and it was because I learned how to get those three engines going. I learned how to get the body engine going, the mind engine going, and the spiritual engine going. When I got all those engines going, then miracles start to happen. And that's one of the reasons why I believe that they call me the Miracle Man. Guys, Seriously, there's nothing special about me. Absolutely nothing. I'm just a human being like you. But when I say just, I don't want to undermine the power that we are. Oh, bless you, Sonia. Sonia's shaking her head, going like,
Don't lie. Don't lie.
what's that?
Don't lie.
Don't lie. Bless her. Right. So we understand, because what can happen is if we take on an identity that isn't in the truth, then that identity is going to have you self-sabotage the results that you want to get. Hands up and be honest if you've ever self-sabotaged yourself in life. And I'm putting both of mine up because we've all done it. Every single one of us. But here's what we want. We want to make sure that we can stop self-sabotaging ourselves so that we start to be able to tune into the truth and we can start to take the necessary action steps that are going to serve us and our loved ones and the people around us. Because guys, this is one of the beautiful things about Enagic. You get to win with your team members. You get to build teams. You get to take on the best part of building a business, and it's the human interaction. You get to give birth to leaders, but it starts with you. You have to be the one that is leading yourself to greatness. Now, when it comes to self-sabotaging yourself, this is how where, have you known people or have yourself where you said, right, I want to be in love. I want to be in a great relationship. And then all of a sudden you go and do things in that relationship that self-sabotage that relationship and put pressure on another person. Most people have done things like that where you might just take them for granted, where you say, right, I want to change my body. But then you see people say, oh, I'm going to go on a diet. And then you go and see them eat a cake. Oh, I'm going to go on a diet. And then you see them in like a fast food restaurant like McDonald's or something. It's like, what the hell are they talking about? Because it's the emotion that is driving them. When we decide an identity that is unbelievable. And what do I mean an identity? Let me give you a few examples. First of all, you want to make sure that you have an identity of being an athlete. That's number one. Why do I say that? Because first of all, athletes move their bodies more than the average person. Children, do they move their bodies more than most adults? Yes or no? How many people are teaching their kids to run around and play? No one. And in fact, because most adults don't have that same energy, they're trying to drain the kids of energy. The kids are playing and playing and playing and playing. And the parents are like, will you stop doing that? Settle down. And then the kids are playing around, they're doing stuff. And then all of a sudden the parents goes, right, kids, time for bed. How many kids do you know who turn around that when they're playing with all their friends or they're playing by themselves, doing whatever, and the parents go, right, kids, it's time for bed. How many kids turn around and go, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know, mummy, daddy, yeah, didn't realise that was that time. I'll go upstairs, I'll get myself ready for bed. No one! Because they're in that energy, and what do they want to do? No, we don't want to go to bed, we want to carry on playing. Energy is going to win every single time, guys. And if you can start to take on an identity like an athlete, and what does that mean? That you're going to move your body every single day. You can start that by coming to do yoga with us in the morning. Skip Archimedes Live, it's on Facebook. It's free of charge. Now, when you take on that identity, all of a sudden, you are going to move your body every single day because you're hardwired to want to do that. And if you start to stretch out and you start to balance and you start to do different positions, all of a sudden, you're going to start to get your body stronger. Now, do you know what makes the body weak? Decreased workload. That's it, decreased workload. So we need to make sure that we increase our workload in our body so that we start to get stronger. We start to get more flexible. We start to create more balance. Now, if we affect the body in those ways, let me ask you the question. Can we affect the mind in those ways as well? If we affect the body, will that have a knock-on effect on the mind? Yes or no? Come on, thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it going to, if we affect, yeah, of course, thumbs up. 100% thumbs up. So we've got to make sure that within the 24 hours, because again, this is going to come down to your identity, because this is what will happen for you. You're going to start to get busy in your business. You're going to start to get focused on building your team. And it could be going well, or it could be a struggle, depending on what season you're in. And this is why you've got to eat live foods, because it helps you deal with these seasons. Because when I said to John, remember when I was talking about John, he started eating this junk food, And he goes, but what's really interesting, Skip, my stress levels have gone up. He goes, people are starting to annoy me. I was like, oh, look at the truth coming out here now. And I said, what have you been feeding yourself? He goes, well, I'm still plant-based, but it was junk plant-based. It was food that was creating acid in the body. It was food that was draining the body of energy. Whereas we get him back and we put the right types of foods in the body, game changer. Total game changer. He was still taking our supercharged superfoods and all of the other supplements, but the actual food that he was taking was junk food. It didn't have the energy of the sun. It didn't have the energy of the planet. It hadn't weathered those seasons. So guess what? You eat junk, you're going to respond like junk. That's just the way it is. So now we've got to understand that this identity that you are going to create when you're going to start to move your body, you're going to decide, right, within these 24 hours, I've got to get organized. I've now got to focus my mind to say within these 24 hours, this is what I'm going to achieve. Now, even if we just break up into 3 sections, you might say, right, I'm going to get between, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours sleep, depending on who you are. Now, within that time period, yes, there's going to be a time when you're rested, but then there's going to be a time when you're focused on your business. But there's also got to be a time every single day where you focus on you. Otherwise, what will happen is if you're just in the mind and you focus on the mind, here's what's going to happen. Your adrenals will get burnt out, and your adrenal glands will get burnt out, and those glands are not going to work anymore. So all of a sudden, what's going to happen is your energy level is going to go to the point where you're going to be horizontal. When you are horizontal, you're no good to your business. You are no good to anyone else. You're no good to any loved ones. So we want to make sure that you are balanced. Now, within that, your journey of every 24 hours, I want you to start to think about this until our next session, because I want you to think, right, what has my identity been? And what do I want my identity to be? Please write this down, guys. What has my identity been? And you can do that for your personal life and your business life because they're both connected. And then write down, what do I want my identity to be? Because if you're athletic and you are having this energy pulsing through your body, and we're dealing with the basics here. I know some of you are saying, well, give me a tool, give me a strategy. I want to know 5 steps to supercharge my life. I want this, I want that. Guys, all of that stuff comes from the brain. It doesn't work. They do that as marketing stuff because the brain can go, oh, 5 steps to greatness. Oh, 5 steps to being rich. 5 steps to getting X amount of people on my social media. They're gimmicks. I'm not saying that they don't work, but what I am saying is if you don't work, none of these other tools or strategies are going to work. We have to work on you first. Hands up if that makes sense. We've got to work on you by show of hands. Okay, good. Good. Perfect. So, we need to understand. Right, let me just do a quick share on the screen here because I want to show you guys this. That where we are is... Where are we? Okay, good. Okay, great. So, to understand this being the absolute truth in life, that you're only going to be as strong as your weakest link. Now, a lot of us, we get focused on what we're good at, and we do more of what we're good at. But if you've got a weak link, and that could be, and I want you to think about yourself first. Think about how strong or weak your mind is. Think about how strong or weak your body is. Think about how strong or weak you are spiritually. Now, just take that to a childlike spirit with the energy, with the truth, with the being in the moment, with the creativeness, with the playfulness, with the natural joy, with all of that stuff. Think about how strong you are. Now, this is not to... Now, where I say where focus goes, energy flows, I want you to think about your weakness. Because what we want to do now is we want to turn your weakness into a strength. It's not focused on the weakness where we're going to expand more of the weakness. Because think about this. If we actually had a physical chain and there was a weak link and we need that chain to hold something up and all of a sudden the chain snaps, bam, what it was holding up is going to come crashing down. So we want to make sure that the 3 links between your body, your mind, and your spirit, We want to make sure that they are strong links. Now, it's just going to work like this, where your mind, because these are the vital elements to complete you as being well, That's what well-being is all about. So in your mind, what does your mind do? It helps with your cognitive faculties. We're in your brain. There's logic. You've got thoughts. There's intellect. There's beliefs. There's consciousness. There's judgment. There's reasoning. There's attitudes. There's will, whether it's, usually personal will when it comes from the mind. We always have choices. There's reasoning, decisions, emotions, self-talk, response, critical thinking, memory, linear time, emotions, protection, planning. All of that stuff comes from the mind. So if you master your mind, do you realize that you master something so powerful? This thing up here, guys, if I ask you this question, can your mind make you well? What's the answer? Yes. Can your mind make you ill? What's the answer? We know the answer is yes as well. So we got to make sure that you being the one with the identity, that you get to evolve into a better version of yourself, because you've got to be hungry for change. Now, otherwise, what's going to happen is the mind is going to bring up the problems. The mind is going to have you focused on fear. Like what Sam said, that shift in that belief, that going from fear to love, it may sound like a little in the mind, but when you play that life out, someone who goes from fear to love, game changer, guys. I mean, I'm talking game changer with every single heartbeat, because you've got to remember that this is a journey through life. So then we understand our body, your physical body composition. I mean, first of all, the design of this thing is a miracle. The design of a human being is unbelievable. And literally every 3 seconds, all of us, boom, we've all just had about 50,000 cells die inside of us. But no one noticed anything, because what happens every 3 seconds, we have 50,000 new cells emerge. And we're giving birth to a new physical version of us literally every 3 seconds. And none of you have got even any conscious awareness that this is happening. You can't feel it. It's programmed in your body. It's phenomenal, the programming that is in your body. So we need to make sure that the programming in the mind is going to serve you to get the results that you want to get. So within the body, there's the physical body composition. You've got your skin, your bones. There's a nervous system. You've got your fat, which we want to make sure that your body burns fat for fuel, not sugar. Organs, you've got muscles, the blood, the brain, the bacteria, neurons, endocrine glands. You've got an average of 75 trillion cells, and you've got an immune system. That's all gifted to you so that you can experience this thing called the game of life. Then we've got spirit. And when you connect to spirit, this is where you can start to trust your own intuition. Now, what do I mean by intuition? Let me show you how your spirit works. Let's say that you're walking down a street, and all of a sudden, you're in your own little world, you've got your headphones on, and a lorry or a car comes speeding off the road. Before your mind has had chance to respond, before you've had a single thought, bam! Instinct gets you out the way, and you haven't even had to think about anything. It was the instinct that moved the body, and then the mind came in third. Guys, did you just hear what I said? Your spirit came in first to save you, then your body moved out the way, and then the mind pinned the meaning on it third. This is how we need to get programmed. We've got to start to connect to this spirit. This is where your intuition is. This is where you're going to be guided. This inspiration will come from within you. This is where you get a high level of consciousness. This is where you start to connect to the oneness of what we truly are. This is where you're going to start to connect to your soul purpose. You're going to understand the microism. You're going to understand that love is the glue that doesn't just glue the universe together, but it glues tribes together, families together, whether they're real family or family that you create teams of business. You get a connectedness. There's an inner knowing that you're doing the right thing. You can start to create, experience psychic senses where you can start to see stuff. You can start to experience past lives. You will be inspiring when you have this energy breathing through you, because it's going to be a good, clean energy. There's non-logical consciousness. Things don't need to make sense in the spiritual realm, because miracles can be born. And that's where you find your authentic self. So what I like to do is, would it be okay with you guys if I made you guys a quick offer? Because I want to be able to respect your guys' time. And I know last time we've done this, I've gone over 2 hours. I want to try and keep this to 2 hours so we can finish in 15 minutes. But is it okay with you guys? Let me just come out of here and see if that's okay. Is it okay with you guys if I make you guys an unbelievable offer? Yes, okay. Okay, great. Okay, brilliant. Beautiful. Thank you. So what I want to do is I want to be able to have you guys understand how you can create extraordinary results. Now, if you look on the screen now, what you're going to see, these are people that I've just taken a handful of people that I work with, and I want to show you the results that are possible. Now, you could get the results that they've got. You could get better results than they've got. You could get not so good results that they've got. It's entirely up to you because you're the one who's creating your reality. So there's a movie star client of mine. He went from broke, having no money. His wife didn't want to. His wife had left him. His kids didn't want to speak to him. He got blacklisted from Game of Thrones because he was basically beating people up on set and off set, and people just didn't want to work with him. And I helped get him balanced out. In fact, Sam actually met him at the retreat that he was at in Spain, and you just see that he's just a bundle of love now. And he went from fear to love, just like what Sam did. And it was the fear of not being good enough. It was the fear that he wasn't going to create enough money. Now, ironically, when that fear was driving him, it crushed his life. I started working with him, and he was broke. And he had to go and his management company had to pay for him, pay me to coach him. And he went from 0 to 4 million in 1 year. He lives in a £4 million house and went to doing the biggest work of his career. And he then went and won the award Legend in Cinema at the British Independent Film Festival. Now, Joel Bauer, you saw Joel at the video at the beginning. He spent $150,000 in cash to learn things that were incorrect. And he said, what is the point of making all that money if you're only sacrificing a part of you in the process? If you guys come and work with me, what you're going to do is you're going to find parts of yourself in the process. You're going to find more of who you are. John Lee, who I was speaking about, by the way, guys, he didn't come to me to lose weight. Although he lost weight, he went from 74 kgs down to about 82. Look at the bottom left picture. That was him before, and that was him after. And I started to work with John in lockdown. And he came to me. He literally said, look, Skip, I was speaking. He said, I don't know what was happening. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack on stage. And I'm talking, and I just forget what I'm going to say. And he goes, what the hell's going on? I said, you're out of balance. I said, it's that simple. So I started working with him, and I'll show you guys the videos tomorrow. In fact, I mean, all of our videos are on YouTube, but you can see Thursday, I want to show you the videos because I want you to see these guys speaking. Now, guys, look at Simon in the middle. Simon, just like you, he was, regular guy. He was questioning whether he could afford to come and do Breakthrough Mastery, the live event. Now, that was the last live event that we did in Singapore. In fact, Sam was there. Sam and Cora were at that live event. Now, what happened was when we go day 3, we do a lot of stuff around money, because this is how you get to supercharge your wealth, because you are attracting stuff that's in the same frequency, because like attracts like. As I take you through these processes, you go into these high frequencies, and the next time we come back on Thursday, I want to show you guys the video from Simon, because here's what he did. Now, all he had to pay was the equivalent of about £2,000 to be at that event, which is about, about 3,500 Singapore dollars. So that's all he had to pay. The day after the event, he manifested 320,000. I'm going to show you a video of him next time saying it. Guys, 4 weeks after that, he manifested another 400K. Then he manifested just under $1 million, and he literally just messaged me, and this is what I want to do. I want to show you guys, because here's another video of him, and I want to actually, he sent this to me yesterday. Where's this video of him? Here. This video of him here. I want to show you that video because you see, he's so happy. Guess what, guys? He manifested about 40 million. Guys, did you hear what I just said? He manifested a deal for his company about 40 million. His services, he gets about 2.2 million from that. And what this video is, he goes, Skip, he goes, the stuff that you're teaching me, the stuff I'm going through, he said, I think there's more to come. And I said, there is more to come because this is what happens when you start to create a life of abundance. Leanne, again, Leanne was on Breakthrough Mastery, the same event with Sam. And I've carried on coaching Leanne and she's now literally manifested about 54 million. Guys, this is in lockdown. These are real people, real numbers. Kelvin, 4 days after the event, $90,000 in his account. Carmen, who you can see the bottom right corner, she'd gone from top, and I'm going to show you all these videos in our next session because I want you to hear what these people say from their own words. Because this is now about getting into these higher states of consciousness. If you go into where mass consciousness think, guess what? You're going to produce the same results as what they're getting. If you want to start to produce extraordinary results in your life, type that in the chat. Say, Skip, I want to create extraordinary results. Type it in the chat. Let me see. Type it in the chat. Let me see. Okay, beautiful. Of course, you all want to create extraordinary results. Now, to do that, guys, you've got to do the work. And you've got to remember one simple thing, that you are your number one investment. So let me just pull these slides back up again. Because most people don't invest in themselves. They'll invest in a car, they'll invest in a holiday, they'll invest in a house, they'll invest in something, but not in themselves. So I want to ask you the question now. What identity do you want to take on? Do you want to take on the identity of a victim, or do you want to take on the identity of a victor? When you take on that identity of a victor always finds a way to make something happen. A victor knows a good deal when it's presented, or a good offer, or a good opportunity. A victor will break through the challenges. A victim, guys, a victim's going to come up with all the reasons why I can't do it. Oh, I haven't got the time. Oh, I haven't got the money. Oh, I haven't got the resources. Guys, it's nothing to do with resources. It's to do with becoming resourceful. If you become resourceful enough, you'll find the resources. Let me ask you this question. If someone said to you tomorrow morning, right, I'm going to literally kill someone in your family unless you come up with, let's say, $2,000, if it was life or death, guys, would you find a way, yes or no? Come on, by show of hands. Your loved ones have got, I'm creating a situation here because I want you to understand the truth. A loved one has got a gun to their head. One of your loved ones, whether it be your wife, your kids, someone that you love dearly, your parents, and they said, right, I'm only going to release them if you go and get $2,000. Hands up if you could find that money. Of course we would. Any of us would get resourceful enough to go and find that money. This is how you have to be when you're creating your life. You've got to put that amount of pressure on you, not the pressure where it breaks down, but the pressure where your standard is so high that you're never going to settle, that you're always going to find the answer. So here's what I want to be able to do for you guys. I would like to be able to, where are we? Okay, 1 second. Let me just do a share screen. Oh, got to stop that screen there. Let me just share a different screen. Okay. Because without us putting that amount of pressure on ourselves, guys, no one else is going to put that pressure on us. No one. So what we've got to make sure we do is... Okay, this is totally bizarre. Okay, there's a link. Right, I'm going to bring up a link, guys, on my slides. Don't look at that link. Can you put this link? What we're going to do is I'm going to make you guys an offer now, because some people say to me, look, Skip, can you just be my coach? And yes, I can. Now, if I come to you for 1 day, guys, it will cost you £10,000, not dollars. This is £10,000 for 1 day. I'll come to you and I'll be at your place for 1 day and I'll help you literally redesign things in your life. if you want like one-to-one sessions, 1 hour sessions, my rates literally doubled overnight, guys. And the only reason why that happened in lockdown is because people came to me, wanted coaching, and there's a value in the exchange. And when I said no, their value went up. And I was like, right, if you want to pay that, then I'll coach it. No problem. So 10 sessions is going to cost you £20,000 and it will be online like this. Now, right, guys, can you mute yourselves, please? Okay, cool. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Thumbs up. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So 52 weeks. If you want coaching for an hour every single week, that'll cost you £100,000. And by the way, guys, my clients are happy. They're happy to pay that amount of money because they get the results. If you come to one of our live events, it can cost you up to £8,000. Online courses can be anything from $500 to $1,500, but I've done something special for you guys. So what I'd like to do is imagine how these 3 days can transform your life. Please write these dates down, September 25th. Now, guys, I'm not trained as a businessman. What I've done is I followed my passion. I followed my heart and soul. This is what I want to teach you how to do, how to heal any area of your life, whether it's your finances, your business, your relationships, because all of that is going to take life away from you. What we want is life breathing through you, getting you the results that you want. So people come to you and say, hey, can we run a story on you? Your success is such an inspiration. Can we run a story on you? And then they'll put you on front covers of magazines. So what we're talking about here is the science of success. There's a science, but there's also the art of fulfillment. So here's why I created this. I spent 30 years learning this and made many mistakes. Coronavirus has created fears in most people, and why most people can't turn their fear into power. That's what I want to teach you how to do. I want to teach you how to have the balance. I want to teach you how to fast track having breakthroughs. So my mission is to empower you. So if you want to be richer, if you want to be happier, if you want to learn how to grow your finances, if you want to have more confidence, more energy, a better body, have more and better sex, or to create a life of miracles, type in the chat which ones you want. Which ones do you want? Because everybody's at different chapters in their life. We're all at a different season. Which ones do you want? Because here's what I can tell you. Without the right energy and the right focus, every tool, every strategy, every technique is going to be a waste of time. What we're going to go through on Breakthrough Mastery is going to give you the tools so that you can start to get extraordinary results like these. And guys, these are just a handful of people. I'll show you more in our next session. So here's the offer. Now, James is just going to, in a minute, he's going to put a link in the chat. And that link is, now look what we're doing here, guys. I'm just getting rid of this £10,000 straight away, because here's what you're going to do. You're going to learn how to create a better body and mind. How are we going to do that? First of all, I'm going to teach you how to start to learn and memorize 10 times faster. If you could learn and memorize things 10 times faster, would that be of value to you in your life? No doubt. If I could teach you to go from a body that craves sugar and stimulants for energy, and you can create alkalinity in your body where disease cannot live or manifest in an alkaline environment, guys, we're not doing this on theory. I'm going to teach you how to have your body go into a fat burning zone. There's no system on the planet that works as fast as this. You hear about the keto diet that's blowing up. We're going to be burning fat for energy, and you're going to be gobsmacked at what you experience when you go through the processes. You're going to learn how to create abundant wealth, because without you learning how to do that, and again, it's going to be, I'll be putting you through processes where we're going to be getting your creative juices flowing, where all of a sudden you're going to have to create things with other people. And when you create magic with other people, this is how you give birth to teams that function at high levels. You want your team working in harmony, but it has to start with your body, your mind, and your spirit. So how do we do that? I shift you into these high frequencies. As we go through the processes, you are going to be in these higher states of consciousness. So all you've got to do, guys, if you invest now, September 25th, 26th, 27th, all you've got to do is pay $497. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer you guys some bonuses that, yeah, please don't look at that link on the screen. Please do not click that, type that link. James has put the link in. And what is the link?
bit.ly/skip wealth offer.
So it's bit.ly/. In fact, let me just type it in the chat as well, because I know there's going to be some of you that do want to register. So James has got it in there. Brilliant. bit.ly/skip wealth offer. Beautiful. Cheers, dude. So what we're going to do is I'm going to carry on giving you some bonuses. Now, the reason why I'm going to be offering you guys some bonuses is to make it a no-brainer offer, is so that you understand that you are your number one investment. And I want to stack this offer up. And guys, last time I made an offer with Sam and Bernard, I want you guys to understand this. They said to me, in fact, let me get to the end of the offer, and then because I want to bring Sonia into this conversation, because Sonia's such a beautiful heart and soul. However, she was challenged, and I want to explain the truth around the challenge. Now, when we're out of lockdown, guys, and we're able to start to do Supercharge Your Life, as an event I've run in Singapore, the Philippines, Spain, Malaysia, UK, so many countries. Now, we're going to gift you, if you take action today, we're also going to gift you 2 tickets to Supercharge Your Life, where you get to come and experience a whole weekend full of transformations. It's an unbelievable event. You heard David Wolf talking about it at the beginning. You heard Tama, a movie star client of mine, talking about it. David Wolf is probably the world's #1 guy when it comes to live foods. He's the guy. He's the face behind the NutriBullet. A lot of you probably know the NutriBullet, and he's a dear friend. And he said, Skip, what you do at that event, I don't know any other speaker around the world who's doing what you're doing. So you're going to get gifted 2 tickets, and they've got a value of $5,000. Now, it comes to the free bonus. Now, one of my teachers, Confucius, he says, he who masters himself becomes the almighty warrior. You're going to get 50 E-class to world-class coaching sessions. Now, everyone who registers now at that link, please, not the link on the screen, the link that is in the chat. Those of you that register on that link that's in the chat, we're also going to gift you the 50 E-class to world-class coaching sessions. And that's got a value of $5,000. We're going to gift that to you. And all you're paying is £495, which is about, about $597. It's £497. So you also, some of you, we're gonna pull some numbers out the hat, because there's going to be a one-to-one group coaching session where you get to understand how playing in the big league is. Now, what this means is that there's going to be 20 of us in a mastermind. Now, for you to come into the session, you have to do some things before the session. You can't just come in and do the session. There's going to be preparations that you need to do, so that when we're in that session, you're going to see me go around 20 people, and it's going to be like a laser beam focus for them to do the very thing that has been holding them back, to do the very thing that's going to take them to the next level. And you don't just get to experience this yourself. You get to experience this with 20 other people. It's phenomenal. It's a journey. It takes round about 2 to 3 hours to get through everyone, but when we do it, it is unbelievable. So here's what you guys are going to receive. 3 days of massive transformations. You will come out of it with a better body and mind. If you play full out on that course, you'll come out of it with a better body and mind. You're also going to come out of it learning how to create abundance when it comes to wealth. You're also going to learn how to shift your frequency so that anything that comes from the mind, anything that comes from a lower frequency, you're going to be able to knock that straight out and learn how to live in what we call these high frequencies. This isn't a gimmick. It's not a fad. It's not a trend. This is a better way of living. You are going to learn the new way of living where humanity is going. If you stay with the old ways, I can tell you guys, you're going to be in low frequencies. You're not going to make it. I'm not here to scare you. That where life is going now, the only ones that can make it, it's not about how much money you got in the bank. It's about what frequency that you're living in. It's because you're being fed by the frequency that you're in. There's a victim frequency up here. There's a victor frequency down here. Victors find ways to come up with the solutions. Victims complain about stuff, blame stuff, shame stuff. So we want to make sure that we're in the high frequencies. Now, the bonuses are the one-to-one group coaching, the E-Class to World Class, 50 sessions, the 2 Supercharger Life tickets. Guys, that has a total value of just over $22,000. All we're asking is £497. I think it shows on the screen $597 dollars, but all it is, it's £497 English pounds. That's all it is if you invest in yourself now. So let me ask you this question. Are you now, in your mind, are you now becoming the victor and saying, right, I need to find a way to make this happen? There's a reason why Sam and Bernard invited me here to spend some time with Skip. It's because they know what I do, guys. It gets results. It absolutely gets results. I'll give you an idea how things work through word of mouth, because I want you guys to be able to repeat the same. I know some of you guys here, you're from India. Now, Sonia is also from India. Now, when we were on the last call, Sam and Bernard, they said, Skip, can we talk to you off screen? And I was like, yes. So we went off screen and they said, look, is there any way that you can do a money back guarantee bonus? And I said, well, what would you like? And they said, well, you know, can we get, because, you know, we really want to serve more of our people. We want more of our people to be able to go through what it is that you're going through. So, guys, if you are feeling that this is right for you, please do not hit the link that's on the screen. Hit the link that's in the chat, the bit.ly/Skip Wealth Offer. So I said, yeah, of course I'll do a money back guarantee. I said, because we know what I do, it delivers the truth. Now, I want to bring on, who is a bit of a sister now, I want to bring Sonia on in a second, because Sonia, when it came to Breakthrough Mastery, what you go through, guys, I'm telling you now, you will be out your comfort zone. But here's what I truly believe. Life begins outside of your comfort zone. You're not going to be outside your comfort zone where you're going to break down. You're going to be outside your comfort zone where you're going to break through. Now, Sonia came in and she was one of the people that registered on the last event. Now, what happened was James got a message. He got some voice messages come through from Sonia. Well, explaining, saying, James, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Can I have my money back? And we don't mind giving the money back. We really are not against giving the money back. However, what he said was, Sonia, please trust the process. You're right in the middle of it. You're nowhere near the finish line. You're nowhere near where Skip is going to take you. At the end of day one, you've probably done about less than 10% of the value, because I have to start to create momentum. I've got to get you guys going. Most of the work is done in the last half of the day. Now, when Sonia then says, you know, and the message was, look, please give me my money back. Now, a lot of that was coming from the mind. It wasn't Sonia. It was her mind. It was the programming that was going in there, which was around fear. Sonia is an absolute bundle of joy and love now. To witness how Sonia came into Breakthrough Mastery, to then see where she's at now. And it wasn't just about Sonia. It was about her and her son as well. It was about what was going on within her. And what was going on within Goben, her son. Both of them were connecting in these lower frequencies. Now, what's going to happen? Bang, bang. You're going to clash. Your energies it's going to be horrible. Believe me, guys, the reason why I know this stuff is because I used to live there. Now, what happened was they shifted their frequency. They went through into these higher states of consciousness, and we're going to hear from both of them, because I've noticed that he's just come in the shot as well, which is beautiful, because now, guys, none of this is scripted. I haven't asked Sonia, can you please say this? Why? Because then she's going to be talking from my mind. When we talk from our heart and soul, here's the truth, guys. You're 5,000 times stronger magnetically, which means that you can start to pull things into your reality 5,000 times stronger when you're in your heart. You're 100,000 times stronger electrically when you're in your heart and when you're in your brain. So let's see that. So what happened was, James said, look, please trust the process. And Sonia felt that from James. She felt the truth coming out of him. Both of them trusted the process. And let's see what the result is. So everybody, with the normal supercharged welcoming, can we all please put our hands up and give a big round of applause to Sonia and Gobin.
Hi,
So how
hi,
are you?
everybody. Yeah, Skip, I want to say one thing. You fell for the trap. It was a trick. To ask for the money was a trick. To stand out amongst the rest and be remembered. You remember me right now, all the time?
Of
Yes,
course.
that was the trick. That was the trick. Okay. So I want to thank Sam because I was always self-sabotaging myself, always. And Sam was fed up of me. So he pushed me to your energy field. And thanks for that. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I know you want me to speak, but I just got a message from my brother. Whatever I learned from you, Skip, every day, even in yoga, you give out so much of yourself. So I keep sharing it with my brother, he's my best friend. So he sent me a message just now and it says a lot. So I must read it out, okay? So he says, I'm at a place in my life where peace is a priority. I make deliberate life choices to protect my mental, emotional, and spiritual state. That's what you have taught us. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And tell us, how has it been between you and your son? Because
he's gonna speak today.
okay,
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's Govind. That's Govind.
Over to you, Gobin.
Hello, guys. So before doing the break to mastery, we didn't used to talk too much with each other, and we didn't used to spend too much time together. But since doing it, we've been cooking together and doing yoga together, your yoga classes on Facebook, and we've been giving each other our space. Like when we feel a slight clash, we don't go through with it. We just say, okay, let's stop right here and give each other enough time to feel better. Then we talk again. Yeah. So there's a huge change, and it's not come back to the old ways. We've been feeling good since then. So nothing bad has happened since doing that course.
And
thanks a lot.
And we thank you every day, all the time. Had it not been for you, Skip, especially in the lockdown, I think we would have just hung ourselves. Yes.
Wow.
It would have been crazy. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, guys. Everyone, please give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much. So what I want you guys to understand is that you know how a ripple effect works, where you drop a stone into water and it ripples out. You are the center to your experience of life. When you shift, everything that you're connected to is going to shift, guys. Because now what you're doing is you're focusing more of the truth into what you're doing, and there's nothing that you can't create. You are limitless in what it is that you can create if you learn how to leave the mind, if you learn how to go into these higher frequencies. Because when you go into these higher frequencies, guys, you see the truth, you see the programs that you've been playing out, and you realize that, oh my God, I'm exactly where I am in life because of the decisions that I've made. You now have the chance to make a better decision. So if any of you are really starting to feel that this course, these 3 days, plus all the bonuses, remember, you're going to get the 50 E-Class to World Class coaching sessions. You're going to get the 2 tickets to Supercharge Your Life, and you can come to that event in any country. Some of you are going to get the one-to-one group coaching session. There are all these bonuses, guys. We've stacked up the offer to make it irresistible for you guys. So for $497, to really start to shift the quality of your life, because the quality of your life is everything. And it's not just about having the money. It's not just about having a great body. It's not just about having the energy. It's not just about having great relationships. Guys, it's about it all. Because all of these things you connect to on planet Earth. This is why we have to create this holistic approach. And when I started to teach this stuff years ago, people just didn't get it. And then all of a sudden, the press start labeling me as the miracle man. Or we have like the Ministry of Health come and try and shut me down in Malaysia. And then they come and see what I do. And 5 days after that, I'm then doing a talk at the Ministry of Health for all their top directors. Guys, this is the new wave. Don't let this wave go. September 25th, 26th, 27th is the potential of changing your entire life. I don't say that lightly. I say that truly with my hand on my heart, because I know the results that it brings people. I know how it changes people. And guys, guess what? You haven't even got to fly anywhere. You haven't got to book a hotel anywhere. And by the way, the more you do it, the better it gets. This is why I have people come back. They say, oh, can I do it again? Can I do it a third time, a fourth time? We've got people, this is going to be the third one that we've ran since lockdown started. And we've got people coming back doing it again. And they just said, oh my God, I just want to get plugged in again. Because this isn't about information. It's not like, oh, well, I've already learned that. I've already got the information. It's about the application. It's about training yourself. It's like you wouldn't go to the gym just one time and have an amazing workout and go, guys, I'm fit for life. No, you don't do that. You have to go again and again and again and again. And it's that level of discipline that gives you the strength. It builds this muscle, but we're talking spiritual muscle. We're talking money muscle. We're talking relationship muscle. We're talking mind muscle, body muscle, life muscle. Guys, we go through everything. You cannot fake the processes that I take you through. And it's a lot of fun. So if there anybody who has any questions, I'd like to welcome in any questions that you guys may have when it comes to Breakthrough Mastery Online. And then we've got our next session on Thursday, guys, starting again at the same time, 9 a.m. UK time, same time as what we start today. But does anybody have any questions? And just by a show of hands.
I have a comment. Can I say something, Skip?
Yes, please.
Why was I a personal client of Skip? Because I once asked Sam, you are changing a lot. What can you attribute it to? You know, I could see the change, and Sam mentioned two aspects, and one of them, he highly recommended his influence as a client by Skip. So it's kind of no-brainer, right? I mean, I saw the fruit of it happening. So I became a personal client of Skip. And why do I pay? Why did I pay? Then Skip was half price compared to now. Thankfully, Sam, you introduced me earlier enough. It was £10,000. And now, why did I pay £10,000? Because I've seen we are manifesting exactly what our identity is. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, if I intend with that £10,000, my identity changes a bit for the positive, just a little bit. Imagine the value it brings to me for the rest of my life. Yeah, so that's what I want. I just wanted to add.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Bernard. And guys, what Bernard is saying is the truth. You know, Sonia's sticking her thumbs up because she knows it. Sam's doing the same because they know it. Ask yourself now, are you taking on the identity of the victim or the victor? And if you guys do go and register, please come back in the chat and let us know if you have registered, because we want to know who the real leaders are. If you've registered and you want to take it to the next level and you want to get all those bonuses, guys, this is the question that you need to ask yourself. Breakthrough Mastery, September 25, 26, 27. Monday morning on the 28th, are you going to be waking up better because you spent 3 days with me at Breakthrough Mastery Online, or do you want to wake up the same way that you had woken up that whole weekend? It's so important, guys, that you decide, right, this, I'm just going to find a way to make it happen. This, I need to learn this stuff, because what I'm teaching you guys, I didn't learn it from school. I didn't learn it from events. What I teach you, I learned from my own experiences. And it was like God became my CEO. And it says, right, you're going to learn this stuff. And I got forced into some real challenging situations. And we've just started to create a documentary around it, where the areas of life that I had to bounce back. One, yes, there was the broken back where I got told I was never going to walk again. But since then, there's been a snapped Achilles heel. There's been and that recoiled right up the leg where they said you're only going to get 70% strength and flexibility. That got regained to 110%. Now it's that standard, it's that vision, it's that frequency that I tuned into to manifest what I truly wanted. Along that journey, I started to do really well in business. And I ended up being ripped off about $400,000, me and my partners, from somebody who we trusted. So there was the bounce back from that. There was the bounce back from falling down a waterfall, snapping my tailbone, snapping this wrist, and being on stage 3 days later, delivering an event in Malaysia for about, I think it was about 800 or 1,000 people there. The reason why I'm telling you this, guys, is because the best is yet to come. The best in your life is yet to come if you tune into the truth, if you learn how to supercharge your wealth. And why do I say supercharge your wealth? Health has to be the foundation of that, because they say health is your greatest wealth. You look at somebody, okay, got it, Sam. I look at somebody like Steve Jobs, had all the money in the world, and because health was his challenge, no amount of money could buy his life back. Guys, be ahead of the curve. Learn how to give your body, your mind, and your spirit what it needs. Learn how to fuel all these three engines up, and that's what you'll be learning on Breakthrough Mastery. And when you've done that, guys, everything in your life will transform. Just like Sonia's experience, Sam and Bernard. Guys, it doesn't mean that you don't get challenged. You will find yourself through the challenges. Instead of a challenge breaking you down, the challenge gives you that opportunity to have a breakthrough. So guys, I'm really sorry. I know I've overrun again today. I said I was going to try and keep it to 2 hours. I will try and keep the next one at 2 hours. It's just the value that I love to give. So guys, can we all please give Sam and Bernard another round of applause for setting this up so that you guys can get these teachings. So I really do, guys. I hope you've got value from today. The big thing, remember, is identity. We've got to change your identity at a subconscious level so that you get wired up for success. So that when you are thinking of quitting, you've got an identity that's going to make it happen. That you've got an identity that's going to break through the challenges. And in doing that, you'll be unstoppable in your journey through life. So thank you again, everybody. I love you all, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. So back to Sam and Bernard.
Okay, let's all give a big hand to Steve, everybody. Okay, so yeah, I mean, today's session has gone on a bit than the promised 90 minutes. So that means that you got more value, right, from Skip? Okay, and we'll be having another session, not tomorrow, but on the day after, which is on the Thursday, same time. So you may want to take this opportunity to bring to bring more friends with you to the session on Thursday. So
and their teams, friends and their teams.
Oh yeah, of course, the friends and the team members. So anything from you, Bernard?
Next session I'll only be a participant only for a short while because my son turns 18 on that day, and just spending some time with him as he's growing up.
Congratulations, Bernard.
But personally, I want to say that I got so much value today. Just very excited.
Awesome. Can I just add in? Don't forget your family members, guys. Please bring your loved ones. I want to show you some examples of what happened to my mum as well. And you're never too late to get supercharged, because energy doesn't care about age, size, color, anything. Energy's energy. So I would say, bring people with you next time, because there's nothing better than having people that you love and care about transforming with you. And we're going to go through some amazing stuff in the next session. So thank you again, everybody.
All right. So guys, with the exception of Skip, Bernard, and James, can the three of you stay on for a quick debriefing after this? So with that, I'll say bye to all of you on Thursday. Oh no, hang on. I'll see you all tomorrow. We are having a session with Bernard Chan tomorrow. Okay. So see you guys. All right. Except Skip, Bernard, and James. Thank you, guys. See you there.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Idris. Bye, VK. Bye, Azim. Bye-bye. Yeah. I think I may have to put you on the, yeah, so this session has ended. Azin, thank you. I'll see you there. Bye, Azza. Bye, thank you. Okay, Azza and Tengku, we have to bid goodbye to you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye. Thanks. Bye, Skip.
Bye. Tengku. All right, I didn't.
Sorry,
I
gentlemen,
didn't
can I
know.
just have 2 minutes? I just need to go pee real quick. Sorry.
So
Give me
do I.
30
Why
seconds.
don't we? Why don't all of us? Okay?
Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Good call.
So is that you, Skip?
James, Skip's he's just gone upstairs.
I see. You could hear the waterfall, could you, James?
No, I didn't go. I got an orange. I can hear lots of waterfalls.
So where are you now, James? Are you at home with Skip?
Yep. Yeah, we're with
Alright.
our with Jeanette and Doug.
What's the name of the place where you guys are at now?
It's called King's Lynn.
Okay. Can you type in the name on the chat? Can you type in the spelling on the chat?
Yeah.
Please.
What's that?
Can you type in the spelling on the chat?
I think he's going to come and say hello.
Hey.
He's gonna pop around for a cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, we're between London and King's Lynn, so we spend about half the time in London, in my house in London, and half the time here.
Okay. All right, I'm back
And then
here.
as soon as they get rid of the lockdown, it will be back to Spain as well.
Okay. So a good session today, Skip. In fact, I think there's already 3 of them who indicated.
Sam, you're
they'll be
still
signing
alive.
up.
You're still live on Facebook.
Oh. Okay.
Any waterfalls on Facebook?
Oh my god.